So I'm sure you guys know the game franchise Call of Duty. It's the biggest game franchise in like the entire gaming industry, and they're about to release MW2, where MW2 is currently having a beta. And the way Infinity Ward is responding to criticism is honestly insane. Only 18% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Don't be part of the 81%. Subscribe to the channel, you have nothing to lose. So let's just take a minute to think of what is a beta. A beta is a small version of the game these developers are going to release, and the whole point of a beta is for your community to come together, play it, give feedback and criticism, and so you can change things before the game finally comes out. And so the whole point of a beta is to give feedback and criticism so the developers can make changes. And what is Infinity Ward doing? They're ignoring your feedback. Yeah, that's right. The feedback, the whole reason for the beta, they're pretty much ignoring it. So this all came out when Infinity Ward decided to double down on the controversial change to the minimap. If you didn't know what the change was, pretty much they said minimap red dot rules. Currently in the MW2 beta, we only show enemy player dots when the UAV is active. The design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. We also want players to actively search out the origin of a gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. And that's just completely not true. They're not regarding feedback. They don't give a damn. You know what? The majority of the community says, hey, we don't want the minimap to change. We like seeing red dots when people are firing unsuppressed guns. Keep it out. And that's the biggest thing. When I'm playing Call of Duty, I'd say like half the time I'm looking at my minimap because visual cues are a big part of the game for me. I don't want to search out, you know, hearing people's gunshots. I want to, especially in the game where you have like the loudest footsteps in any Call of Duty. I swear, it's like you're walking around with cement blocks as shoes. And they want to take away this valid part of the game that so many Call of Duty players not only like but encourage Infinity Ward to keep in their game. They say they don't want to punish players for firing their gun. Okay, so if they don't want to punish players for firing their weapon, what the hell is the point of a suppressor anymore? You know what I mean? The whole point of a suppressor, I think for most people, was to stay off the minimap. The suppressor is not enough for most COD players to not understand where you're shooting from. Like, obviously, yes, it's a suppressed and you might get like a second advantage, which for some people might be enough to justify this change, but it's just not enough of a change for me to, you know, give Infinity Ward a pat on their back. You know what, the last couple of years they've been constantly changing the minimap, and they've been changing the perk systems. They've been reinventing the wheel on things that the majority of COD players, honestly, if I had to take a poll, I'd say they don't want change. You know what, I mentioned the perk thing. Apparently now you're only going to go in with a few perks, and as the game progresses you'll get more perks. It's like, no one wanted this. Like, I understand they needed to change it enough so people could say this is worth, you know, being a new COD title, but they're changing things that no one wants changed. People want the minimap back as it is. So Modern Warfare 2019 was one of the most popular and most sold video games of all time, and I didn't like it. It's my least favorite COD multiplayer in the entire series, and that's saying something. I played Advanced Warfare. The campaign was great. I loved Modern Warfare 2019's campaign, but the multiplayer is just a camp fest. It's gonna be just like this in this game if they don't start to change things. You know what? You're walking too loud, and Dead Silence isn't a perk anymore. It's a field upgrade, which a lot of people don't like, myself included. And you know what? Your minimap doesn't show red dots where people are shooting from. It's just gonna be a camp fest again, and I'm so not looking forward to this. Honestly, this is one of the games I'm not gonna be pre-ordering because, once again, Infinity Ward and Activision aren't listening to their community. Now, obviously, these people that are working on this game have been developers for years. They know the industry a lot, and that's great and all. You know what? I'd like to think that means they have a better understanding of game development, and maybe these things make more sense to them, you know, the people that are actually making the games and seeing how they work. There's also gamers that have been playing their games and seeing how their games play for years as well, and they also know how people play. And when people are telling, the whole point of making a game like this and having to beta it for feedback is to make the most enjoyable game possible. And so when your players are coming to you and saying, hey, making these change to the minimap is making my game experience less enjoyable, then you should do everything in your power to make it, change it. I mean, there's a reason there's a bunch of people upset about this, and people are telling you this feedback. It's making the game less enjoyable, and it will make the game less enjoyable for me. If I even buy Modern Warfare 2, it's going to be whenever it comes on sale first. There's no way I'm pre-ordering this game, especially when now we know that Infinity Ward isn't listening to the community, even though so many of these big companies, they don't listen to the community. They don't listen to the people that are actually using their products or playing their games. And it makes me shake my head, because this is just such a simple change they could implement. I mean, they wouldn't even have to change anything. Simply make the red dots appear when people unsuppress guns. No one had a problem with it. And it just sucks that Infinity Ward seems to be making the same mistakes they were making in Modern Warfare 2. Now, yes, Modern Warfare 2 was one of the most popular and sold games, but it looks like it fell off a cliff in active players like halfway through the game cycle development. And if you guys didn't remember, Modern Warfare 2 is going to be the only COD that releases for the next 2 years. And if they're already not listening to the community before the game releases, how do you think they're going to listen to the community for the next 2 years? This is a game that's supposed to last 2 years, and I'm very worried, because Activision is laying Call of Duty's future on Infinity Ward's shoulders. And what do they do before the game even comes out? The beta time, they go, hey, we know better than you. It's just like in Black Ops 4 when they wouldn't release the damn advanced UAV, even though the entire community wanted it. They decided to say, no, we know better. And the thing is, when you have all these people playing your game and giving you feedback, your game implementations are making the game less enjoyable for the mass people. They better start listening, because if they don't, there's no way in hell this game is going to last 2 full years. Really think about that. This is the first COD in 15 years that they're only going to be releasing one COD for 2 years. It's the first time ever, and they need to start listening. Twitch has recently implemented a policy where they're going to be banning crypto gambling. It's going to cost big streamers like XQC and Aiden Ross millions, if not tens of $millions, and they're not happy about it. Watch this video where I break down the entire details on what's coming to Twitch. Click here to watch it now.